this hearing have a right to know what information I've considered. Some of you may not have seen that question and answer or known it was there, or thought to look at it. I was only looking at the questions myself, but again, since that information was available to you and some people could think I looked at it, I think I need to put it out there to make sure everyone's had a chance to see it. Like I said, I'll leave the record open. Actually, because of the holidays and everything, I'll leave the record open for the public and Mr. Spence to come make any comments they want in response to the information and the question and answers, which will be fully posted by the end of the day tomorrow, I understand, at the city's website until noon on Monday. Next Monday, that would be, let me get that date up there, the 30th, simply because we I know that everyone's closed on the 26th and the 27th. And then the city can respond by Tuesday at noon, and then the tribe by, or we'll say Tuesday anytime on the 1st of December, and then tribe on the 2nd of December. And then my decision is, I mean, technically it's due 10 business days, 14 days after that, which would be, let's see, the 16th. And I'll ask the tribe, can I just have my deadline be the 18th of December? Just give me a little extra time to get to, there's a lot of information to go over on this case.
Of course.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that. I have another big case I have to write a decision on too. So, all right. So my decision will be then done out on the 18th. So for the public and Mr. Spence, if you want to comment on those questions and answers, again, it has to be limited to what's in those questions and answers. You can email your response to Talina, and let me get her contact information up. Let me see if I have it. Pardon? Oh, you have her email address? Yeah. I guess I need for everybody else, I want to put it up. Talina, do you have, for some reason I can't find my sheet that had your email address that I can post for the public that's watching. Let's see. Talina, are you there?
Talina is no longer on the call, sir. But
okay. Let me see. I cannot find. Just give me a second here. Shoot. Ms. Nelson Gross, do you have Talina's email address you could post maybe on the share screen?
Yes. Let me find a way to do that.
Yeah. I am almost ready. I'm almost there.
Oh, do you have it, Anthony?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, if you could just share that, Anthony, that'd be great. It's not up yet. Here it comes. Oh, perfect. Okay, yeah. You've all seen this email address a few times. Again, this is just to respond to the question and answer. And Anthony, all that'll be posted by tomorrow, right?
Yes, no, we will definitely have the video from this call as soon as it's ready, as well as the Q&As I'll have as soon as we, or at least I'll get that to legal as soon as we're off the call here tonight.
Okay.
They should be able to get that up pretty quickly.
Perfect. Okay, sounds good. Okay, beyond that, the record is closed, and it's first of all, obviously this has been a very emotional issue for a lot of people of great concern, and I just want to compliment everyone for handling themselves really professionally here. The focus of these hearings is supposed to be on the facts and the evidence, and we were for the most part able to focus on that. There's a lot of information for me here to consider. As I mentioned, I have a science background. I always love to learn something new, and there's a lot to learn here. I'm going to be going over all the testimony of the 5 days of hearing and the studies that the tribe has presented and that are linked to Ms. Goldberg's materials and that are linked to Ms. Wilkie's materials. We're going to be looking at that very closely. I think Mr. Murphy was pretty accurate in that, if we were just dealing with the Sequim population, there's no question that this isn't going to be, not going to be a source of crime or any nuisance. It's going to make things better. You might have people with drug problems that are a little more congregated in one part of the city as close to being dispersed, but that, you know, overall that's not going to have any significant impact. The real issue, if there is one, is the fact that we're bringing people in from other communities, and will they stay, whether it be to live there, or, you know, whether they're spending, you know, part of their, you know, their days when they go to treatment walking around Sequim and creating problems, maybe. I mean, the issue is, will that happen? You know, is there evidence that supports that? You know, just listening to the testimony, there appears to be a lot of back and forth. So I'm really, like I said, it's I'm going to have to focus on the studies and really see in there if there's anything definitive either way. I know Mr. Sturgis had mentioned he was a little skeptical, you know, why the revised MDNS was changed in the settlement agreement to say that the tribe had volunteered conditions. And actually that is something that strengthens the legal defensibility of those, because as Ms. Nelson Gross mentioned, the city doesn't even believe they have the authority to impose many, if not any of those conditions, especially in condition 5. And so by virtue of the fact that it says they're voluntary, that means that a court isn't going to overturn them because they're not, because the city fails to prove there's a probable significant impact. They can stay binding because the tribe has agreed to them. So that language in there is a good idea. It's a little insurance, in other words, that we can be assured that at the minimum, we're going to get the things that the tribe has agreed to. What I have to decide is, you know, if anything more needs to be added to that, whether it be a lot or a little. At this point, I don't know. That's something I'm going to, as I said, have to really dig into and study. And it's an important and a very interesting issue. It's also a little bit of a kind of a golden handcuff situation, because the conditions that the tribe has agreed to may be so good that it prevents me from requiring any improvement in other areas. If I change any of those conditions in the SEPA, the tribe can say, well, then we don't voluntarily agree to anything else anymore that we don't have to agree to. So it puts me in a you know, a little bit of a difficult spot. You know, if I find that there's a little bit of error in one area, and they should have been more concrete in what the community, you know, the community committee puts together, that could jeopardize the other conditions that the tribe has agreed to, like the bond or you know, the community navigator or something like that. So I suspect what may ultimately happen in my final decision is I'll say, okay, well, you know, overall the conditions the tribe has agreed to, those are I think the best deal that the city can hope to get out of this. And maybe it's even lucky to get that much, but then I may go on to say, but, you know, I can see an improvement in these 3 areas or something. And then at that point, that would be for the tribe and SOS and Parkwood to maybe work out a settlement where Parkwood and SOS would say, well, if you know, agree to these additional terms, we won't appeal it or something. So, you know, there's still a lot of steps to go through before this whole thing is resolved. You know, I think this was a good forum to get the evidence out. I'm sure that, you know, those meetings you had with 1,300 people, that was a good place to get the emotion out and the political pressure out and everything else. This was a proceeding that should have been focused on the evidence. And I think we did succeed in doing that. I mean, even though a lot of the appeals were dismissed, and believe me, I did not like having to do that, I think we ultimately were able to grapple with the factual issues that needed to be addressed, all of them. Frankly, I can't imagine there's a whole lot more that we could have discussed in these 5 days. I think we covered everything pretty well, and you know, and I really you know, I know the tribe and the city did not like having SOS in. You know, it's not normal in a sense to have a third party intervene in an appeal like this where there's a stipulated settlement. But I think due to the complexity of the issues, due to the fact that the city was pretty much bought into the deal that they put together, I found it really helpful, and my expectations were fully met of having Mr. Spence involved to kind of put that deal, you know, through the fire to see if it stood up to what impacts it would have on the community. And you know, once I'm done putting my decision, I'm going to feel confident that all the community concerns were legitimately and thoroughly, you know, addressed in this proceeding, and that's I think, that's what we want to happen from all of this. As I mentioned before, if those opposed to this project had achieved having this project stopped solely for political reasons, that would have been a lot of work for nothing, because that just means that, if the tribe had the resources to fight this all the way through, and they probably do, the tribe ends up with a huge judgment against the city. Like I mentioned, this is of the $10 million variety, and gets the court to say that the city has to approve it anyway. So I know a lot of you don't like that this case had to be resolved this way, but from a results perspective, from what you can get, the most you could get out of this was a tribe that was willing to work and try to agree to something, and that's what we got here. So, and like I said, maybe as a settlement process going through litigation, you'll squeeze out a little bit more. I don't know, but what you'll get from me is a very, very detailed decision. My decisions are very detailed; they address everything, and you'll get a very even-handed evaluation of the evidence. And I have no reason to be biased one way or another. Obviously, I've issued decisions that have made everybody upset in this case. So, I'm not trying to be friends with anybody. I'm just trying to follow the law here. And I will give you a decision that follows the law. So, again, I know you have 5 days. That's incredible. I can't believe the dozens of people that have sat through this proceeding, and that is more compelling than a lot of the testimony you could have given. The fact that you are so concerned about this project that you would sit and listen to all of this. And who knows, maybe it's because Sequim is, a lot of retired people and there's nothing good on TV now, but I think this is something that is important to the community, obviously. And I take my role very seriously. And again, I thank you all for listening to all of this. I've learned a lot. I hope you have too. And, I have my deadline for a decision, December 18th, I believe it was. And, if you want a copy of that decision, I believe that the city will very likely, I'm sure, will be posting it at the MAP website. And I think if you send in a request to Talina at that email address we had up before, that she'll send you notice when it comes out. So again, have a great holiday. And it was a pleasure working for the city of Sequim. And I hope that this gets resolved in a way that can make everybody happy. So thanks again for your participation.
Thank you, Mr. Examiner.
Thank you, Mr. Albrecht.
Thank you.
Thank you.